Who's Eating Good, served to you, of course, by Applebee's. These are players that have just had a really nice start to the season through the first 2 weeks, and we're going to figure out if they can keep this going. And, Jay, we start with Brian Robinson.
Hang on for a second. What was our bet last? You and I had a bet on Sunday for a steak dinner at Applebee's.
It was Desmond Ridder over Sam Howell. I won. Both of them was good, but Desmond Ridder was quarterback 10. Sam Howell was quarterback 14. So now we are even.
That?
Desmond Ridder played one of the worst games of football I've ever seen. He ran into the end zone.
He did get a rushing touchdown where Howell did not, but I feel like Ridder also had a. Are we making up numbers? Hey, Blake. I know
you got the laptop right here.
Hey, Blake. I know I've thrown you under the bus, but can I? I will praise you if you can find stats that show that Sam Howell had a better fantasy day than Desmond Ridder last week.
I thought Desmond, looks like Ridder was QB 10 and Sam Howell was QB 14.
Brutal.
Put a Desmond Ridder jersey on the wall.
No, we're absolutely not doing that because Desmond Ridder was awful, and Sam Howell actually led an amazing comeback against the Denver Broncos
hating get you
on
nowhere.
the road.
Comeback. The Falcons was down 24-12 in the fourth quarter.
Ridder's not good. It's going to be Taylor Heineke in week 5. I'm telling you now.
We could bet on that, too.
Look, hey, you want to that's fine. So,
but we even though
we even. It was double. It was double or nothing. So now it's back to nothing. You want to go double or nothing on Ridder versus Howell this week?
Probably. Yo, Lions, let's bet it up.
All right,
bet it up.
Done.
Bet it up.
And Commanders playing the Bills, but I don't care. That's how bad I think Desmond Ridder is.
That's how I felt against the Packers. Like, hey, it's whatever. I'm rolling with my guy.
All right, so one of you will be eating good. You know who else is eating good? It is
we'll
Brian
both be
Robinson.
eating good, but one of us will be paying at Applebee's.
Brian Robinson, RB5 on the season.
Yeah.
Week 3, he comes in as RB21 for you here, Barry. Jay, I'll start with you, though, for Brian Robinson. Just to, we don't have too much bias on this answer. Can he keep this going?
I think he can. I mean, last year his yards per carry stuff was bleak, but at the same time, he was the number 8 running back by PFF grade last year. That's his same ranking this year. He's just really good. He's just a really good running back. He runs angry, and I've got bad news for everyone. I think the Commanders might be semi-decent. I think they might be a semi-decent team. The fact that they were able to put up 35 on what last year was a really strong Broncos defense and has most of the same personnel. Unfortunately, Sam Howell looks solid, good. He looks better than any of the rookie quarterbacks that we've seen so far this year. So I think that Brian Robinson can keep this going, and he's getting the work in the backfield, Matthew.
Look, he is. I mean, at least 20 touches in both games this season. What's exciting to me is through two games so far this year, he's got 49 receiving yards. He had 60 total receiving yards last year. The fact that he's just not a nothing in the pass game, I think, makes it really exciting. And look at the upcoming schedule for my beloved Commanders, my 2-0 Commanders. Again, you're not 2-0. You don't understand what this is like. But Lawrence,
I'm 1-1 like the Chiefs and the Bills.
Lawrence Connor and I all understand the feeling of being 2-0.
You guys, the Bucks, Falcons.
Exactly.
Powerhouses.
Powerhouse.
Galore.
1,000%. Commanders.
We're going to bet on that one, too.
But here's their next 4. Bills, at Eagles, home to Chicago, at Atlanta. 3 of the next 4 opponents are bottom half of the NFL in terms of rushing defense. And that includes the Bills. Bills, very surprisingly, so far through 2 weeks of the season, they are 19th against the run. So I guess they've just been able to effectively run the ball. They will. So, Brian Robinson, is a top 20 play. I am at 21 in my initial ranks, but he's a solid RB2.
Yeah, and with the Bills' defense, Jordan Poyer doesn't look right at all. He's been bad, and Breece Hall did to that defense as well in week 1. I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Robinson has a better day than you would expect, because the Bills' defense sounds scary, but it hasn't been so scary.
The other thing is that Antonio Gibson, one of the things he struggled with is fumbles, especially in the red zone. When they get in close, it's going to Brian Robinson.
Yep.
Another player off to a sizzling start, Puka Nacua, of course. He comes in as wide receiver 3 after 2 weeks. For Barry, he comes in as a top 10 wide receiver 9. I mean, listen, Barry, we talked about Puka Nacua before the season started, but this kind of volume while Cooper Kupp's been out has been insane for the rookie wide receiver.
He has 35 targets this year, leads the NFL. And you're like, well, who's number 2? Justin Jefferson. Okay, fine. But get this. Puka Nacua has 35 targets through 2 games. Number 2 is Justin Jefferson with 25.
Yeah.
He's literally like, what's the math there, Jay? He's like 20% better? He's like 30% better?
The way I think about it is Mike Evans is having the best start to his career, basically, these first 2 years. Puka Nacua's got twice as many targets as Mike Evans. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I tell my daughters, when you grow up and marry somebody, find somebody that looks at you the way that Matthew Stafford looks at Puka Nacua.
He is looking at him.
It's unbelievable. The other thing is that the schedule lines up nicely. Now, they're at Cincinnati this week. The Bengals have been sort of up and down, but after Cincinnati, they're playing at the Colts. Colts 29th against the pass. Then they're at Philadelphia, which is 31st against the pass so far. The Eagles' defense ain't the Eagles' defense from last year through 2 games. I mean, the Vikings went in there and put up a lot of points on them, a lot of yards as well. They had a lot of offseason losses, Philadelphia did. So they're going to keep throwing, and they're going to keep throwing to Puka Nacua. We don't know what this offense looks like when Cooper Kupp comes back, but it's at least 2 games until that. So, yeah. Puka Nacua clearly a top 10 play. I don't know anyone that has Nacua on their team that ain't starting him this week.
He's on a better pace than what Cooper Kupp was the year he won the Triple Crown. So he's eating good in everybody's neighborhood.
Yeah, that's very true.
Coming into the season, I thought that MVP would be between Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. I didn't anticipate it would be between Puka Nacua and Baker Mayfield. But here we are at the moment. I think this is just real. And the test will come when Cooper Kupp comes back and how much of a hit he takes. He will take a hit, clearly. But until that point, yeah, he's just locked and loaded as a top 10 play.
Our last one here, Lawrence.
It doesn't matter what kind of hit he takes, just in the sense that, because you got him for free.
Exactly.
Whatever you get out of him post Cooper Kupp is still profit.
And if he turns into what Tutu Atwell has done the first 2 weeks, that's still a really good wide receiver in fantasy.
Wide receiver. Yep.
All right, our last one here, Lawrence. Hunter Henry, who really wasn't even drafted in plenty of leagues, and right now he's tight end 2 in fantasy. He comes in as tight end 10 for Barry in week 3. When you look at New England's offense, it feels like so much of the targets, especially in the red zone, they're looking Hunter Henry's way.
Yeah, he's eating good as well. I actually have him at tight end 8 this week. How can we not, after a second consecutive week with at least 6 targets, 5 receptions, and over 50 yards? Oh, and he scored in both of those games. Like you said, when they get to the end zone, he's the guy. I wanted to see the Patriots not have to throw 55 times and see Hunter Henry still get this volume. He's the clear tight end that they want to play over Mike Gesicki. So I'm riding with him. In this tight end landscape, you got to ride with him.
Yeah, look, he scored in both weeks, and I don't know that necessarily continues every week, and that's what's kind of helped his fantasy value. But I think there's a couple things that are going in his favor, right? And this is one of the reasons, right? Go back and look. He was on my preseason love list. He was a sleeper that we talked about in the preseason because I was like, listen, he's somebody that throughout his career has always been kind of a touchdown machine. We've talked about this, how scoring touchdowns is a viable trait. And whether it was with the Chargers or with the Patriots, he's always just sort of been this red zone threat who just finds a way to get open in the end zone. We've talked about the fact that we think this offense is going to be a lot more competent under Bill O'Brien, and it has been. I'm with you, Lawrence. They don't want Mac Jones throwing it 50 times a game, but I think they're certainly more comfortable in opening it up under Mac Jones. It's a much more competent professional offense.
Definitely.
Bill O'Brien likes to run a lot of 12, and throughout preseason, Hunter Henry was clearly ahead of, from all the beat reporters and everything like that, Hunter Henry was clearly ahead of Mike Gesicki. There's a connection there. I mean, Hunter Henry and Mac Jones have played together for 2 years and 2 games at this point. He's tied for the team lead in red zone targets. And, again, even if he hadn't scored the touchdown, he still had 5 for 50. He's been 5 for 50 in 2 straight games. So is Hunter Henry a tight end 1 the rest of the way? Yeah, especially given the bar that it takes to clear. I'll ask you guys this. Rest of the season, who would you rather have, Hunter Henry or Pat Freiermuth?
I'd rather have Hunter Henry.
I'd rather have Hunter Henry.
I don't want
I just dealt with
anything.
this exact situation in my main league.
He's leading their team in receiving yards right now.
But that's the thing. Pat Freiermuth was drafted as a top 8 fantasy tight end, and you guys were. And by the way, I agree with you. And all were there was no hesitation.
Yeah. I think close.
I think I'm going to start. I'm facing you in fantasy this week, and I've got a decision between Pat Freiermuth and Zach Ertz. I might go Zach Ertz, to be honest.
I'll go Zach Ertz.
I don't want you to beat me, but when you look at my rankings, listen, they're playing Dallas, so
Well, they're going to have to throw a ton because they're going to be down by 50 points.
Well, honestly, they're going to have to throw a ton, and they're going to have to throw it short because Micah Parsons is going to be in Josh Dobbs' face within 1.5 seconds. So it's just not going to be a lot of long plays.
The main reason that you like Hunter Henry over Pat Freiermuth is that Kenny Pickett has been a disaster to this point. He may get better, but Mac Jones looks more like rookie Mac Jones than last year's Mac Jones, and that's a good thing. He looks very competent, and even though they're 0-2, they very easily could have beaten the Eagles. They could have sent the Miami game to OT as well. They're fine. This is a competent offense, and guys will be able to put up value.
I think I'm gonna look this up. Penn State Blake, when he wasn't bemoaning his his 0-2 start, he sent me a note here and just said You think about last week, right? 6 different drives the Patriots had in Miami territory resulted in 3 points total. Like, again, the Patriots just have – no, but honestly, they've had some bad luck. The point is they've had some bad luck. They had some early turnovers as well. And so I just think that they'll have a little bit more success in the red zone, in the red area, as well as that offense, as they continue to learn under Bill O'Brien and get used to that offense here. They're on the road at the Jets this week. That'll be a tough matchup. But again, when you think about that matchup, right? You've got Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. I mean, so you don't love Devontae Parker and Kendrick Bourne. What's going to be available to you is the middle of the field. Yeah. Like, that's where Mac Jones is going to have to go.
He's going to take that anyway. Yeah. So he's definitely doing it now.
Yeah. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.